So, I wanted to talk a bit about Neptune in astrology and the purpose of Neptune in astrology. So, why are Neptunian concepts important, and what is Neptune trying to tell us? So, on one level, Neptune has a lot to do with things that we can't see. It's very much to do with compassion and people having to tap into parts of themselves that trust in, let's say, higher goodness, or that the universe is taking care of itself and it's taking care of people in some way. And it's the part of us that has a spiritual kind of faith in things and in the world. And why is that important? So I think a lot of times, because Neptune has to do with things that are kind of mystical and vague and unseen, we might be confused about why it's important or what it actually represents in, let's say, day-to-day living. But for example, with Neptune transits, we need Neptune transits to kind of dissolve existing psychological tendencies and structures of our lives. And we need periods where things are kind of foggy and vague, which Neptune can have to do with. Things sometimes need to be foggy and vague in order for new things to appear, and in order for new structures to start kind of taking place. And we need periods of rest. We need periods of where things aren't really moving. We're kind of in periods where we need to maybe take it easy. And Neptune can also have to do with certain kinds of sicknesses. And as we know, we sometimes need to rest and heal and take it easy in the form of a sickness. It's kind of telling us something. So Neptune governs over all of that. So while we may not have a very good relationship, let's say, with times where things are not really moving or things are kind of foggy and vague and uncertain, we actually need those times in order to kind of recuperate. And so Neptune periods are trying to take us out of the mundane as well. So if you think of people who are highly Neptunian, they might be people who are very interested in music or art or spirituality, or getting out of their, let's say, mundane day-to-day reality in a beautiful kind of elevated way. They want to get elevated. They want their life to be elevated, and they want to be involved with things that are going to take them out of the mundane. And this can also take the shape of people using alcohol or drugs to kind of get into those states. Like, that's one level of Neptune as well. But there's also just the level of just being very immersed in music or art or compassion or charitable work and empathy, and kind of believing in things that, believing the strength of things that are almost, they feel ethereal or like not of this world. Like, I'm quite Neptunian, and when I listen to music, I can get into these states of almost like pure trance. It feels like a trance. And it's something that I actively induce. I actively want to get into those states. So I kind of use music to do that, to kind of take me out of the mundane reality, and to kind of it's an expression of me seeing beauty in music and in things in life like music or art, and I'm kind of actively engaging with it then. And so we need Neptune to kind of give us a break, in a sense, from the reality of the world. And that's why Neptune has also to do with illusions and delusions and deception, because that one angle of Neptune could be that people get involved in some kind of deceptive activities, or they're easily deceived, or they're deceiving others, or they're maybe outright lying about something, or they get involved in different lies and kind of schemes and things like that. Like, that's very Neptunian as well. It's like the danger of Neptune. And that you can get involved with things that are not the healthy side of Neptune. But we need Neptune to kind of give us a break from the harsh realities of life, which is why it's associated with, let's say, music or certain spiritual topics, spirituality. So while we may not always welcome Neptune transits, for example, because we don't want to be in a state of confusion or fogginess or vagueness, especially if we're kind of a go-getter type of person, like we don't really have a good relationship perhaps with Neptune if we're like that. But we need Neptune to kind of give us a break and to kind of slow things down almost, and for new things to arrive, like I say. So sometimes these periods of being uncertain or not really knowing where you're going is important, so that your consciousness can kind of rest. It's like your head can rest and you can find out intuitively what your next move is. Because Neptune, again, is very intuitive. It's very, like, you will get your ideas from almost like, it feels like other realms. It's very subconscious. It's very sort of, it feels like a higher realm is speaking to you through Neptune or something like that. So if we're talking about the natal chart, again, people with a strong Neptune, they can come across, kind of foggy and vague, and like they're kind of uncertain, or they're unsure, or, certain Neptune aspects, for example, can have to do with a kind of loose identity, or kind of a foggy, fragmented identity or sense of self. And it's because in this lifetime, those people have, let's say, chosen to work with finding the pieces and putting the pieces of themselves back together. And for that to happen, you need to kind of be in a state of where the pieces aren't fitting together. Like you're kind of, your identity is fragmented in some way, so that you can learn, let's say, to find out who you are, and maybe use some of your empathetic or compassionate powers, let's say, to find out who you are, and like to make that part of your identity. Because Neptune people can be very compassionate and empathetic, and it's this kind of soft energy. So I'm going to leave it here. If you want more from me, do subscribe and leave a comment if you have any thoughts about this, if you have any experiences with maybe a strong Neptune in your chart or Neptune transits, and leave a like if you enjoyed this. Thank you.